Hey, there's the old man coming at you. Something I've been thinking about. I want to briefly talk about Martha's Vineyard / immigrant debacle. And first, I want to give you a little bit of a side of myself. I am a Republican. What's that mean? It means I am a conservative. And automatically right now, some of you just automatically put me up on the evil side. There shouldn't be an evil side, let's put it that way, but I'm going to explain a couple things. First, let me explain the differences in what Republicans feel and what Democrats feel, and I'm being general. And it is a difference. I'm not talking platforms, I'm just talking the major differences. The major difference is that the Republican Party, what they view is that the government has less role in our everyday life. They would do the major things like defense, transportation, economics, taking care of our freeways. They deal with the major things. Now, all the other little things, the government should have no part of. Now, on the Democrat side, they want more government involvement in our lives. Just think about it. They want to have a say over how we live our lives. That's it. That is the difference between the two. The Democratic Party and Republican Party, one wants more government, one wants less. The party I choose is less. I don't know about most of you, but I do not want people telling me in my own country how to live my life. Now, when we talk about immigration, we go back all the way back to the very beginning of this country. And historians will tell you that we are a nation of immigrants. From the first pilgrims until now, we immigrated across one way or another. Whether you came by ship in the colonial days, and even after the country expanded, you had people coming from the West, like the Orient, like China, Japan. They came over here because we had Chinese migration down in California and the Old West. It documented that as so. Now, people like to say that the conservative side is against immigration. That is not true. We believe in legalized immigration, and that basically these other countries are not flooding us like what's happening now. Economically, it's not a good standpoint if we have all these people from other countries coming over here and they're taking jobs away from us. Now, people say, well, what about, these illegal immigrants who come over here and they pick all this fruit that for ridiculous wages that no one else would want to do. Well, the fact is they shouldn't have to be doing that. If I had my way, instead of having these illegal immigrants doing it, you get these people who are in prison, who are not high risk, they're in there for small crimes. You want to let them earn their debt to society. Let them get out there and pick fruit and cotton and whatever other things and help earn their release. I mean, that should not, and some of these things now, except for picking fruit, some of, like cotton, I think is done by machines now, but fruit and some vegetables, let the prisoners do it, let them earn, instead of sitting in their cells all day, except for an hour of recreation. Let them come out, let them pick in those fields. You know, back in the beginning of the 20th century, we had a bunch of immigrants who came from Northern and Western Europe, and they came through Ellis Island, which was right there in New York. It's one of the, I think it's a tourist place you can visit now, but yeah, that's where the migrants came through there, and they were documented as they came in, which is a thing I think is good, because you could start the process of becoming a citizen even then. And there were some laws which were passed. In 1924, there was a Immigration Act which was passed where you had limited immigrants could come from allowed countries, which was like 2% from each nation. It was set up through their natural origin. And these people came through because of religious, racial, political persecution, relief from lack of economic opportunities, or famine. You know, Ireland, we had a lot of coming over because from the Irish potato famine. I think that might have been before that, though. So I'm sure that a lot of the people who come from south of the border are suffering the same things, but you're just flooding over en masse. And not, I don't know what people are telling you, but that is not good for us. We cannot allow the, I mean, if they, even during all these people who are flooding through, there are still people from south of the border and other nations who are coming across legally. And the thing that's upset me during all of this is you've had some people who have been here for decades. When President Trump was in office, he said a thing which said a lot of nerves about sending back all illegals to the place of nation where they came from. And there's several people where I live who, it was in news where there was one woman who said that she had been here 30 years and that she had a business. And my thought is, so you're telling me at no time during that 30 years did you try to become a United States citizen? You did not want to get the benefits that are associated with being a citizen. And I know that some people in the Democratic political party are trying to make it where illegals can vote, and I say no. If I was to go and live in one of these other countries, they're not going to allow me to vote because I'm not a citizen there. And it should be the same here. I mean, we give all kinds, there are a lot of benefits to being a citizen. But yet people will come here for years, and like I said, decades, and not attempt to become a citizen. I think there should be a cutoff point that if you've been here after a certain period, you should be required to become a citizen. If not, you go back. And so, in light of the whole Martha's Vineyard thing, here's my take on that. And like I said, take in mind that I am a conservative. is that I disagree with it. I disagree with them sending all these people, all these illegal immigrants to Martha's Vineyard. What I see that as is a revenge move. So the people in Florida and Texas who are sending these people up there, they have become a very staunch conservative viewpoint, and they don't want all this flood of illegals coming in. They want this to be stemmed. And so what they did, they thought, well, we're going to show them, we'll send these busloads or plane loads or whatever up to this rich, exclusive area where a lot of these Democrats live, and we're going to rub this in their faces. Let these immigrants be in their backyard, they say. Like I said, I had a friend of mine who posted about this, and I made this comment. And the comment was that by sending all these people there, it is not solving the issue. All it's doing is relocating the issue. You still have people coming across, and now you're just sending them somewhere else so they're out of your backyard. But it's not stopping them from coming in the first place. So, here's my take on that. First, let me back up a second, and let me talk about the famous Trump build a wall thing. I have no issue with the wall. I did disagree with how he put it, that he said that we should make the Mexicans pay for it, the people along the border. No. I think that if you worked in concert with each other, that both of us should work together to build the wall. Because if you think about it, those people in Mexico and those other countries, they don't want their people coming up here. Because if they're doing that, they're losing tax dollars. So you should build the wall together. That's my point. The second point is, you like Ellis Island, set up checkpoints so when they come across, they can begin the process of becoming citizens. I mean, it worked back then, it should work now. Ultimately, the thing that would further at least slow down this flood is that we should work together with these nations to help find a way to improve things so that the people don't want to leave. You know, if it's religious or political persecution or whatever, you find a way to help them, help those countries so that those people aren't being persecuted. If it's famine, you find a way to help them get the food they need and the jobs they need so that they're not wanting to find something better. They'll stay there. I mean, I'm all about, if you want a new life, fine. Come up here, but we shouldn't have to pay for what you're trying to do. But come up here. As soon as you get here, you find a lawyer or whoever who specializes in immigration law, and you do whatever you have to try and become a citizen. On the political front of that, they need to be making it easier to become a citizen instead of having to jump through hoops. I do know, which is something scary, is for those people who go through the process of trying to become a citizen. No, they have a test which they have to take about the United States. And most of those people who go through this process, they know more about our country than Americans. And they should be proud of that. And the thing is, and this is the major difference between those people who came across to Ellis Island and those who are coming up now. The people who came from early Europe weren't giving up their identity when they came here. They were creating a new identity based on the beliefs, customs, and lifestyle back home is what we have here. And if you would have called them Irish American or Italian American or German American or whatever, they would have said, no, I'm an American now. My background might be those things, but this is what I am. I am an American. And that's why I don't like hyphen titles, descriptions. I think they are more racist and divisive than anything. It's another way to divide us by categorizing who we are. Saying, well, I'm African American, or I'm Jewish American, or Italian American. No, you're American. If I'm describing somebody, I might say, well, this individual is black, or this individual has red skin, or whatever. I'm not being racist. I'm just describing. I personally think on job applications, it should not ask for race. Anything you fill out should not have to do with race, unless it's a medical form, because there are some conditions which are for some people. Sickle cell anemia is for black people. It doesn't affect any other people except for those people. So that should be on there. On other forms, no. You don't. It's another way to divide us as people, as human beings. And that's not good. But getting back to what I was saying, is that sending those individuals to Martha's Vineyard was strictly a revenge move. It has nothing to do with solving the problem. It's just, like I said, it's just moving the problem. And you still got people coming across the border in mass forms. And that is not good as a nation. We got a lot of situations right now that we're having problems with, and now you want to send thousands upon thousands who, I mean, I'm sure a lot of these people are good, hardworking people. They want jobs. They want a place to raise their family. I'm not disputing that. What I am disputing is the way they're doing things. And it can't be good for us or for them. So we need to seriously concentrate on how to fix this problem. Even our current president right now, President Joe Biden, when he was president, well, let's put it this way, when his former president, when Barack Obama, when he was running for president, you can look up all kinds of videos on YouTube, and you will see him saying that we must do something about the immigration issue. We cannot have all these people coming across like they're going right now. He said that. And you can find all kinds of videos where he said that. And so after Joe Biden gets elected, his vice president, it took a long time for his vice president, who he put in charge of this issue, to go down to Texas. And she wasn't even near the border. If you're going to do this, you need to do it right. You need to actually get to where these people are coming across. You need to investigate to see what we can do about this situation. We've still got a lot of children supposedly in these so-called cages down there in that area, and nothing's being done about that. People complain about President Trump about this situation. This happened when Obama wasn't president. That's when these things came up. That's when they built these things that these kids are in. And you have out of their parents sent them across the border by themselves. They didn't come across in group as family. They sent them across the border by themselves, leaving these kids to try to figure something out. What you want to do, put them in foster care. And I know a lot of people have a downside about foster care, but not every foster home is bad. I grew up in a foster home. My brother and I did, and I think we turned out all right. So you can't say anything about that. I mean, put them in foster care. I'm sure there are a lot of people who would love to adopt a child. Make it so that they can adopt a child where it's not going to cost them an arm and a leg. Because adoption, when people say about, well, when people complain about, well, why can't we have abortions? They say, well, then they always automatic, well, why don't you adopt a child? Well, number one, because they make it so darn expensive to adopt a child. They need to make changes in that area so that people who want to adopt can. Give these kids a good home. And then you wouldn't be having issues like we're having now. So, again, like I said, I'm strongly against this sending these people to Martha's Vineyards. Because like I said, I think it's really a revenge move. And it doesn't solve anything. All it's doing is relocating. But anybody who sees this, call, write, email your congressman or woman. Tell them what you think about this. Tell them we need some serious reform about how we can do to stop or at least slow down this issue. Because if it goes on unchecked, it's just going to get worse. We got a lot of things in our own country we got to fix. And right now, I'm not seeing a lot of blame on our leadership of why it's going this way. We need to make some changes. But the first thing we need to do, is, like I said, is contact our representatives and let them know that we are tired of this and it's time for them to step into action. Think about it. When the time comes in November, vote.